sort of closely linked is numerology with the astrology? Is it very closely linked, or is it?
I don't know a great deal about numerology, but I would imagine it would probably be quite closely linked, because I think the more you dabble in all of this kind of stuff, there's always quite a great link involved with many things. Even just looking at a number, I know there's certain degrees, like are a lot stronger than others and all that kind of stuff, and I'm sure that would be relevant in numerology as well. Like certain numbers have more power than others. So I might look at it as something's at a 29th degree, it's the end of something. So kind of be prepared. It's something's coming to an end. It's a strong number when I look at astrology. Yeah.
So if you're seeing some 11s, 1111, some good stuff's happening.
Why is that? Why is there a fascination around 1111?
Well, it's supposed to be like a bit of a sacred number. Yeah. So, although my partner would be we could go into a whole episode about this one. But it's kind of it's like the sacred number. And what I realized when I did my studies is that when they did a physics called torsion physics, and with torsion physics, it's related to I guess free energy, of how the geometry of the universe gives rise to endless energy, and that sort of infinite energy. And so, what a guy called Richard Hoagland did, he mapped out the ruins of Cydonia, which is the Mars face on Mars, and those sort of ruins. And they just linked all the lines from the different ruins. They found like a 5-sided pyramid. So what they did was and the geometry's there, and the geometry doesn't lie. So they just linked up the lines. And when they added up all the angles and all the equation, it came out to a specific number. And they went, wow, okay, we've got this thing. What do we do with it? And this number and this sort of stuff, they realized that if they used this number and tried to relate it to different phenomena that they saw that was unexplained in our science model, it actually would fit. And like, oh, wait a second. So really, we've got something here. So what they're seeing, rather than just a bunch of maybe ruins that a lot of people from whoever will go, no, it's not supposed to be there. They realize that this is something, because you can't just get geometry and make something that then relates to the universe. It has to mean something. So, and from this, they found out this equation, and that equation then does relate to, when you go through it, to 1111. So it does back up the numerological states of people and these number sequences. I mean, you have to go and do your own research. Go out and check it out and see what you think. But it is the basis of the new torsion physics. He calls it hyperdimensional physics, and it's in his book. So I think it's called The Faces of Mars. But it's really interesting. So if you find out the geometries of stuff.
The hyperdimension. You mean like holographic universe?
I would say it's multi-dimensions. Right. Yeah. So it means that obviously when we come down to it in our physics model, that there isn't everything there that helps us understand it. We're missing something. And what a lot of people like Santos say is that we're really, we're looking at too much stuff. Everything is electricity, and everything is based upon like certain forms of electricity, but electricity is positive and negative. And he says like water is pretty much a basis of a negative electrical sort of status, and fire is a positive.
Right.
And so it's a lot of, you'll have to go and do your own research. Go check his YouTube videos out. It was amazing. But it shows you in the case that we're looking at things in a wrong sort of sense. Whereas we're going away from what the ancients once like knew as reality, and they just posted out like, here's the zodiac. If you look at this, then you can find out how energy flows through your body, how the energy flows through the universe, and it's here. Here's our system. Yet we're just interpreting it, I think, a bit differently. So rather than looking at it like a guidebook of everything above that is below, people just kind of thought it was just something that pagans did and then didn't really think about it. What I also like is from the Mayan's perspective, which is the progression of the Earth and the solar system through the galaxy. Because no one really thinks about this, that not only are we spinning around a galaxy, But we have this procession that we're going through the massive thing that we live in, which is the galaxy.
Sure.
And-
100,000 kilometres an hour, I think.
And it's massive. And and what the Zodiac also did was it studied the different regions of the actual solar system through the galaxy. And what they found was each of the different regions had a different effect upon us as we're going through it, which is quite interesting. So with the Zodiac, like, do you find that like different moons and different planets affect people?
I found from my experience, Jess, and this is just something I do for myself, like once I got to know my chart, where planets were and where my Scorpio is and all that sort of stuff, I'd follow the moon, and then I know when the moon's in Scorpio, like that's sitting right deep down at the very base of my chart. So I'm aware that I might be a bit more moody, I'll be a little more irritable, I will be a lot more sensitive, and I can be in a bad mood and I'll be grumpy. And then I think, well, the moon's going to move soon. And that may last for a couple of days. So I just kind of follow the moon and see where I work best. And I think, oh, okay, when the moon sits right up there, I actually feel really good. Or when it's in Aries, okay, which is up high. And that would be like, the sun kind of sitting in the afternoon sky kind of thing. I'm pretty good. And I'm more uplifted. I've got more energy. My mood is a lot better. I'm probably a bit more creative, and I want to go out and do things a lot more. But that kind of is a month, you might follow that for like 2 or 3 months for you to follow the moon and think, okay, well, where is it now? Or it really affects me when it's here. Or I get a bit more sensitive when it's over here. So I kind of think that's a nice thing for me to do, to be aware of me and how I work and how I am best at going out into the world. So if I know I'm not particularly good, I'd rather stay home and just sort of, work it out kind of thing. So I think it does kind of, but you have to pay attention though, see. You have to kind of know your birth chart and know where the moon is and follow it and pay attention to how you feel and how you react to things and how you interact with other people.
So when you're born, it will affect you differently with a lot of these things,
Yeah. So depending on the birth chart, it will affect everybody differently. Nobody is the same because we're all very different.
So explain, I suppose, the natal chart to us. How, so when someone comes in to get a sort of a birth reading, you, on your computer, you not only ask for their date of birth, you ask for their time.
Their time of birth and where they're born.
Where?
Yeah.
So location is an important part of it too, isn't it?
Yeah.
Give you accuracy.
What's the location? What does that have to do
Well,
with it?
that will change depending where you are in the world. That's just because it's no good me doing a chart for you if you don't know, if you were born somewhere else, because the planets will be in a different place.
What is if I'm born on Mars?
Well,
is that different?
I'd say you should be coming here doing the readings for all of us.
Okay. Oh, really? Okay, I will.
There's no return.
If you were born on Mars.
Yeah, if you were born on Mars, it means you have a beard.
So that'd be
and a hat.
something like that.
That'd be the location, and the significance of the location would be where you've drawn your first breath.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay, interesting.
That's significant because you've actually now just come into a body. Welcome.
Okay. So
Welcome back.
That's where your portal is, I guess, into this
Yeah.
dimension.
That's right. Orange Base Hospital.
If we look at it like
that's
that.
it.
Yeah, that's a good way of looking at it. Yeah.
Hobart, Tasmania.
So wherever
Your mother's accidental bathtub.
wherever the planets are and
Yeah.
the sun and all that positions you in the chart, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so because we can fly all over the world now. One day you can be here and you might be, and the next minute you can be over there. So that's actually quite relevant because, the sun may be at the very end of being in Virgo and then it's flipping into the next sign, which is Libra. And, and that will make a difference. It's significant. Like if you were sailing across the sea and you flip somewhere else and then the sun slips somewhere else, that means your sun would be there.
Do you look at conjunctions as well?
Conjunctions, yeah. So aspects. I think a natal chart is just about relationships. The one you have with yourself, and then everything else. So conjunctions, and because all of it is there again, it's all angles, and it's all of the symbols from that as well, which is really great, like the squares. And you look at it and think, wow, look at all these trines and sextiles and squares and conjunctions. It's beautiful.
So conjunctions when a number of planets have lined up. Is that right?
A conjunction is when two planets or many planets are all together. Like we're sitting here now in the same house or in the same sign, very close to each other. Okay. Yeah.
Can I just again just contribute my little 2 cents worth? I had a reading with Helen, and my wife Julie had a reading same day. We decided we would get our natal charts done, And I knew I was a Cancer, obviously, born on 3rd of July. And
it's his birthday, everybody.
Yeah, that's my birthday. Remember that. Okay,
Yeah.
lock that
He just wants people to give him more presents.
Yeah, but it gets
I see
better.
what you've done.
So it gets better. I always tell this story because it sounds good. But my birth date, 3rd of the 7th, Cancer. My sun is in Cancer. My moon is in Aquarius. Correct?
I think that was something like that, yeah.
Now, my wife is 19th of February. She's on the cusp, but she is an Aquarian, and her sun was in Cancer. So her sun was in Aquarius, and her moon was in Cancer. So you could virtually overlay the two of us. We were opposites, complete opposites. And in every way, we are complete opposites, but we feel like when we're together, we're actually a whole. And so it was just sort of some sort of astrological awareness that we actually went, wow, that actually feels right, just in the fact that our charts say that, regardless, you can't change where we were born, the date, the time, and here we are with these overlays, which I found fascinating. And the other fascination for me personally, when you're talking about, your date of birth, when you add up, this is the numerology, that I'm 3rd of the 7th, that's 10, 1958, so that's 20, and 5 and 8 is 13. So you get 10, 10, 13, that's 33. So when an astrologer down at Crystal Castle, Mullumbimby, sat there and he did that, and he sort of went, wow, I don't mean many of you, and I didn't know what it meant because I had no idea what 33. It's funny because the number is a very sacred number, so in Masonry they've always talked about the 33rd degree, even though there's a 3rd degree, but there's this... Yeah,
you're right. I mean, but it's related to the angles. So if you divide it circle by 12, you're getting 12 slices. You measure those angles, you'll get 30 degrees per segment. You just need to accommodate the other 3%.
Yeah. So the 33, from what I went back to do my own research, was that people who are of birth date of 33, you're in good company because they are meant to be a master teacher. But it's funny because conscious wisdom in its own sense, I like the student-teacher idea, not necessarily just being the teacher, but being part of the collective whole of learning and teaching.
Well, this is a good...